right over there is fine. Okay. Okay. Great. You hang out with step back with your mom and maybe on the curb there. Okay. Good. And good morning. Let me make a few remarks. On behalf of Pat and his mom and dad, John and Kathy, and Sister Maggie, and all the Craig Hospital staff, I wanted to welcome you all here for a very happy event. It's fitting that Pat's going home on Independence Day weekend because he's well on his way to becoming independent and is now ready to leave the hospital and continue his treatment on an outpatient basis. Beginning next week, he'll come back for daily therapy, which includes occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech and language therapy, school tutoring, therapeutic recreation, individual and group exercise classes, and a number of other activities. Pat's goal and Craig's goal is to help prepare Pat to return to school in mid-August. As you can see, Pat has made terrific progress in all aspects of his rehabilitation since the last time you all were here. He's now walking with the assistance of a forearm crutch and a solid plastic leg brace. He only uses a wheelchair now for very long distances and soon won't need that either. He's making great progress in all of his other therapies as well. Pat Ireland is a remarkable young man who continues to demonstrate his high levels of intelligence, determination, and work ethic, and has been an inspiration to all of us. His family, John, Kathy, and Maggie, are a close and supportive family, and has been an honor and a joy for us at Craig Hospital to get to know them. Lastly, Pat has a group of loyal friends who visit almost every day and have been a driving force in Pat's recovery. The format of this morning is that Dr. Weintraub will speak first. Alan Weintraub is Pat's attending physician. Then Kathy will speak on behalf of John and Kathy, and then Pat will come up and say hello and answer a few questions. The family and Dr. Weintraub will stay for a few minutes, answer questions that you might have, and then they're gonna head out. So thanks again for coming. One final note: Pat really doesn't want to talk about the shooting or the day of the library, so if you could refrain from asking those kinds of questions, that would be very helpful. Thanks in advance for your cooperation. Dr. Weintraub?
I will call you Pat. It's Pat Ireland. When someone has an injury to the brain, it's really not just that person who's injured. This is a family injury, and healing and rehabilitation really entails the entire family. It's only been 2 months since this unfortunate injury, and in healing time and in neurological time, that's a very short time frame. In the last 2 months, Pat and his family have made some very impressive progress, both physically and emotionally, and they continue to do so. And today, I think, is a celebration of Pat's independence, at least within a hospital routine and within this campus. But yet, in many ways, it's the start of much to come. That is, in the next few months, Pat's got to work on becoming more independent out in the real world. What that means for him is an outpatient program working on many life reintegration activities. That is, home, in his community, recreating, socializing, and hopefully, and I think almost certainly, by fall, going back to school. After fall and throughout the millennium, Pat and his family have many positive things to look forward to as well. Life certainly may be challenging and may be different, but I think all of us who've worked with Pat feel it'll be positive and hopeful and happy. So I'd be happy to answer some questions for a couple of minutes and then turn it over to the Ireland family.
Dr. Bookheim, it occurred to me you have commented on how impressive Pat's recovery has been. Is this unusual, or has this surprised you at his recovery rate?
The surprise of his recovery, I wouldn't say as much. It's more, Pat had a very, very serious injury affecting particular parts of the brain, and as the brain cells have come out of shock and the wires have sort of regained some of their abilities, I think it's impressive and in some ways expected his recovery, but by no means full, and it will continue over the next many, many months.
Can you comment just briefly on why brain injury is so hard to tell on each individual patient on how the outcome will be?
There's many different types of injuries of different severity, and given the different types of injuries combined with who the person is who's injured, the outcomes are often very different. There's some predictability, but certainly not, it's not perfect by any means, and recovery often remains to be determined, and it's defined at 1 or 2 years from something like this.
Maybe at this point predict will be fully recovered, or he will fully recover?
I think for Pat, his goal is full recovery. For his soul, for every part of what defines Pat as a human being, he's going to recover. Might it be different? And it might be, but we just don't know. It's too early to tell. Okay, thank you.
You want to be able to lean on this one? Okay. We just wrote down a few sentences because we're not very good at ad-libbing. Again, we wanted to thank everybody who played a part in Pat's rescue and his recovery and his rehabilitation thus far. As you can see, and as Dr. Weintraub said, he's made a lot of progress, and we are very, very happy to be taking him home now. This is another step in the recovery for all of us. He still has a lot of work ahead of him, and we're trying very hard to be patient in terms of the length of time that it will take to make the full recovery that Pat is seeking. But that's just something that we're going to have to deal with, and we're forging ahead with a positive attitude. He will be continuing a full-time therapy schedule here at Craig for some time, and is planning on going back to school in the fall. And I think everything else has been said, other than if there's questions that you might have.
Kathy, as a mother, though, how do you feel to welcome him back into your home after so many weeks?
Happy. Yeah.
You waiting for the day for a long time?
You know, it's an interesting process. The hospital has been so secure and such a safe place that we actually have been very happy being here with him, too. But yes, it's time for us to get back to more of a normal lifestyle and have our entire family together in one place instead of being in two places.
Keep us so focused on Pat's recovery. Has it even occurred to you how much it might potentially set you back, or would that be something you just don't think about?
We think about it periodically because there have been some pieces of that have been a little bit of a struggle to negotiate, and I'm not going to go into details about that right now, but that actually is something that we'll deal with at a later time. Our focus has got to be on Pat and the family as a family unit at this point.
When you see that all repeated horrible video, that trying to escape, are you surprised that he's even with you here?
Do you want to?
Step up, please.
Yeah.
You know, I think, that showed how determined he is. We were very, very surprised that was him in the video because when it first came out, we didn't see it for a number of days afterwards. And as the details of what happened came out, they approached us and asked us if that was him. We saw the video and we were very, very surprised that it was him, given the injuries that he had.
Have you had to do anything at home have you had to do anything at home to reconfigure for any sort of maneuverability?
Yes, we've had to. He is able to walk, so the changes that we've had to make at the house are very minor, and but we've got those taken care of now. in order to make him safe at home.
What are you guys going to do on the 4th of July?
We're not even sure yet, but we might, go up to the lake or go to some parties. Who knows?
Pat, could you step up for me?
Sure.
Nice
Yeah.
to be able to do that, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah.
What is it, Pat, that you miss most about being out of circulation for a while here?
Probably the water skiing part, not being able to get out to the lake and water ski has been, the biggest disappointment up to this point. So,
What are you most looking forward to when you get home?
just being at home and relaxing, being with friends and all of that.
People have mentioned Independence Day and the idea of you becoming independent. What kind of thoughts have you had about achieving independence?
It's just, really exciting that, I've made it this far and going home, it's just the next step.
How's it feel to be getting sprung, getting out?
Well, we'll miss this place. It's been a really, great place to be at, but, it's exciting to be able to go home. What's that?
What kinds of things can you do, considering your situation? Can you eat by yourself?
Oh yeah, I can, anything I need to do, anything, to help my recovery, I'm able to do.
Take us through the day, tell us what kinds of things you do.
Well, I have, speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, an hour of each of those, and then lunch. Lunch is a big part of the day.
Tutor.
Yeah, I have a tutor that's been coming, and I don't know. It's just exciting to get out of here.
You said before, last time we talked to you, you said your speech was coming along good, but sometimes you got words mixed up. You don't seem like you're having any trouble.
Yeah, it's getting a lot better.
Had you made any plans for this summer before April? Had you thought about what you were going to do?
I was gonna work a lot and try to get enough money to buy a new car and water ski. That was gonna be a big part of my summer.
Pat, I'm sure you've been thinking about going home for a long time. What have you envisioned about when you go home, when you open your door? How do you remember your home?
Well, actually, I went there a couple weeks ago, and just for a day trip, that was nice. And what do I envision? Just, being able to be at home and relax and all that.
What
So,
do you think it's going to take to get you back on those water skis that you want to be on so much?
not too much. I hope to be able to water ski next summer. So,
Pat, what's your reaction to the outpouring of support here at the hospital, the cards? Were you surprised at how many people are pulling for you?
yeah, it's incredible, how much support and, friends come up every night and people send cards and letters and gifts, all sorts of stuff.
Have you had a chance to think about the fact that you survived because you took that daring step of going out the window, and that getting out of the building is what was key to your survival? Have you had a chance to think about that?
Yeah, a little bit, but, those aren't the type of questions that I want to answer right now.
Any special significance to your hat?
It's my hat. Well, my one of my friends, Joe Marino, gave it to me, and this is just a comfortable hat. So,
Pat, you want to go back to school in the fall, correct?
oh yeah,
Do you think it's going to be hard for you to go back to Columbine?
no, nope.
Let me ask you all, the healing fund is sort of got a plan now for disbursement. How do you all feel about that?
I'll let my dad answer that because he knows more about that.
We've just been, we know that there was a meeting this morning, and that's about all we know at this point. We think they're doing a very, very good job. We want to thank everybody, all the people who donated I think there's a list of thousands and thousands of businesses and people who have donated, and again, we want to thank all those people too for that.
Do you think whatever funds come your way will be even remotely adequate to cover the expenses?
Not close.
Can you give us some semblance of what that is?
We don't know what that is at this point. It's an ongoing thing, and it will change year to year.
But do you think the funding setup they have is equitable?
Excuse me?
Do you think the funding setup they have is equitable? How much you will get?
I don't know exactly what those figures are, so I can't.
$50,000.
Okay, and there again, I don't know, the situations that everybody else is in. So, there again, it's a good start, to the rehabilitation process for each one of these kids here. And obviously, there's going to be more and more needed all the time.
I just want to reiterate what John said too, is that we actually are very pleased with the way that all has been handled. And Dave Thomas and all the folks that have worked very hard on that have made a strong personal commitment to doing the right thing. And it's been, I wouldn't have wanted that job at all. And I think it's probably been the hardest thing that they've ever had to deal with. And we support them completely in the decisions, however they go about it.
Maggie, we'd like
Maybe
to
one,
hear
two
from
more
you.
questions?
Yeah, a couple more.
Maggie, just one question for you. How did it step into the
Are you all right?
Have you
Maggie,
missed
you
your
okay
brother
with
at
it?
home?
Yeah, it's been really strange not having. It's like a piece of my life has been a little bit missing. So I'm glad he's coming. I'm happy he's coming home.
You guys never used Mike like other brothers.
They're already back to it. So.
We'll take one more question.
Anything special planned when you get home?
Lunch.
Lunch, there you go. Thank you all very much.
Have good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, goodness.